Hello everyone, this is a video about 9Trees, which is an organisation which essentially plants trees for people for free and many other things as well. I'm chatting with Michael Cunningham, who will tell you a little bit more and about how you can get involved in such a great project. Hi, sorry Michael. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you very much. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. So thanks so much for agreeing to have a little chat with me and for me to tell your story, basically. Yeah, if you could just introduce yourself and how you've got into the work you do.
Yeah. Hi, so my name is Michael Cunningham and I started 9Trees, which is a community interest company 4 years ago. And I started out on the conservation route by doing a wildlife and countryside conservation degree in Yorkshire. And since then I've worked all over the UK in various roles, from like habitat management and leading teams, helping on nature reserves and for the county council, as well as working for the RSPB and the Environment Agency. And many of my roles involved conserving the nature that we already had, but I kind of wanted to give back to nature and create more wild spaces. So me and Ash, the other director, got together while we were doing some coppicing in a woodland and decided to start 9Trees after finding out the average carbon footprint of an individual was 9 tonnes of carbon into the atmosphere every year. And to balance that carbon footprint, we should have planted 900 trees before we were born. But we are where we are, so let's ask everyone to plant 9 trees per person per year to balance your average carbon footprint, and let's spread it not just from my small community of friends and family in Powys in Wales, but also to the rest of the UK. So now we've got land in about 10 different counties of the UK, and we're spreading throughout. We hope to plant at least 9 trees in every county. Hopefully it'll be 90 or 9,000. So basically we would like more people to join us and more businesses to join us. And then we work with altruistic landowners to create biodiverse nature reserves, shelter belts, agroforestry, riparian zone restoration, anything that has got woodlands in it as well. Then farmers come to us and landowners come to us, and we do it all for free. But they get a woodland at the end of it, and our sponsors get to know that the trees are growing here in the UK with potential to visit the sites as well.
That's amazing. So if I was a landowner or had a little plot of land, I would approach you and then you would come and provide a bunch of trees, plant them, and then look after them for, was it 50 years or something? All for free.
Yeah, so there's 2 different ways that landowners work with us now. Yeah. One is the 50 stages in 50 years. So we do everything from when they contact us to all the surveys and planning and the mapping and taking the trees and stakes and guards and planting the trees, and then also replacing the trees if any do die for the first 3 to 5 years. And then we look after the site for 50 years. But the other thing we're finding now is that some landowners would just like to have the trees, stakes and guards. So we've got a different scheme which is called branching out. So it allows us just to send that to them because they're very good at planting trees and keeping hold of them. It's just that they've not got the money to do it, and we can use local contractors to them if they want, and we still want them to send us photos of what's happening so that you as a subscriber know that the trees are still alive and that they're in good condition, and that it's supporting a myriad of wildlife. So we don't just want it to be planted and then they die. So we do provide replanting trees as well. So you as a landowner would just email us and we ask you 10 questions, and then we have a Zoom and we plot a few points on a map, and then we do a desk-based survey to make sure it's not on a wildflower meadow or peat bog or anything else that we don't want to ruin. And we come to some agreements, and we just make sure that the timing is right to plant the trees and that everyone in the family and the land is correct for that tree.
Cool. And how do you decide which trees to plant? Is it like specific areas that go like, oh, we want to make this lots of hawthorn or lots of oak or something, or like how do you know what's the best kind of biodiversity, or where you want the land to turn into, or what you want the land to turn into?
Yeah, so we basically, the desk-based survey shows us what we should and shouldn't plant, as well as we speak to local ecologists to do more surveys on the land, and we look at what is on the land already and decide that it would be good to have a mix of maybe 9 species or 15 species, or maybe it's just a hedgerow and the generic 5 species that go in a hedgerow will be fine there. And then we also check with the landowner, because some landowners don't like certain trees, and therefore there's no point in trying to plant them on their land. It's their land, and they're just allowing us the ability to create like a habitat corridor through their land. So yeah, we basically try as hard as we can to find out exactly what could or should be there, and then work with the landowner and various bodies to make sure that we are, just making sure that it is the right tree in the right place.
That's wicked.
There's quite a few different things we're doing at 9Trees now, including getting more volunteers involved at various events and helping spread the word, and lots of university students coming on board as well for like internships. And then we're creating roles out of that. So we're creating lots of jobs in the green sector. All kinds of things from the back end, like which is the business, social media, finances. It all needs to be done. It's not just phoning up a landowner and buying a tree and planting it there. It takes a lot more effort to run a community interest company that is nationwide. So businesses who might just sponsor 1 tree per team member, but they might sponsor a tree per client, or they might try and balance their carbon footprint. So they might work out through a carbon audit that they aim to sequester 200 tons a year, and then we can plant 200 trees for them. And we also take them on Team Green Away days, so they can come and visit the trees, do some eco mapping, have a lovely day out. It's good for the mindfulness, and they get to see the site. So we've got quite a few things going on our website to allow individuals, businesses, volunteers, and landowners to all come together in like a permaculture kind of way, a holistic way, where we all work together so that we can combat the climate and biodiversity crisis. So there's a lot more to it than just planting trees. And we've got a lot of behavioural change we'd like to see in the world. But we don't tell people, oh, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that. It's more like, oh, you like this kind of thing. Oh, and by the way, have you tried this, or have you heard about this other company or this person doing this?
That's a really good point. For me, it's like if we could bring an awareness to the fact that maybe we're actually not as caring for the environment as we could be. For me, that's something that I'm trying to focus on. Is like, okay, maybe I don't really care for the planet as much as I could, and like starting there, and then see why, like basically maybe asking why I'm like that, and then if I can find out that I could maybe change.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I started 9Trees, really, because of my eco anxiety, and I really wanted to kind of find a way to not be stuck when I suddenly think about all the world's problems. So, you might know friends who work in the renewable sector, or friends that work in like changing the banking system, or other friends that work in conservation. And this is just one thing we can do right here in the UK that's tangible. And it allows me to take my head out of the sand and not just do the recycling, and not just try and cycle once a week instead of taking my car. But it means that I know I'm planting the 9Trees to balance my carbon footprint, and I'm trying to do incrementally just another step, so that hopefully over the next couple of years, we will be able to reduce our carbon footprint naturally to 2 tons a year. So yeah, the mental health aspect of 9Trees is a massive point. And if anyone does want to help us, even if you don't feel like sponsoring a tree, you can always share us on social media. We're at 9Trees UK, and we've got a good following at the moment, and we need people like yourselves to help spread us even more.
Good, nice. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me today. It was a pleasure, and I love what you do. So keep going.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, River.